20-year-old Kevin Ward Jr. killed in the moments this footage was taken after being hit by NASCAR champion and Indiana native Tony Stewart. Now the incident is under investigation and questions are being asked into how this happened and what happens next. It's a developing story we've been following since the news broke overnight. Tonight, police are investigating this crash and the NASCAR world is reacting. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez with more.
It's pretty sick.
That sick feeling still weighing on Michael Guzzo, returning to where he saw Kevin Ward Jr. get hit and killed during last night's sprint car race at this track outside of Rochester. Witnesses say Ward angrily got out of his vehicle following a crash, walked onto the dimly lit dirt track, and as he pointed a finger towards NASCAR star Tony Stewart's oncoming car, he was hit.
People do get out of their cars, but the driver that's actually going past the person that's out of their car goes around them, does not run them over.
One vehicle did manage to swerve out of Ward's way, but as Stewart passed the 20-year-old driver, it appears the car's right rear hit him. Investigators now looking into everything from witness accounts to how dark it was on the track. Also interviewing Stewart again today for his side of the story.
There is no evidence in hand or no facts that would support a criminal charge.
Stewart, known as a controversial driver with a temper, deciding not to take part in today's NASCAR race at Watkins Glen, saying there aren't words to describe the sadness he feels about Ward's death, calling it an emotional time for all involved.
He's going through a tough time. It's emotional for him.
And of course, a tough day for Ward's friends and family, some of them stopping by, leaving flowers today, still waiting to learn if charges could be filed, which the sheriff says is a possibility he has not ruled out. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Canandaigua, New York.
And now that statement released by Tony Stewart today, there aren't words to describe the sadness I feel about the accident that took the life of Kevin Ward Jr. It's a very emotional time for all involved. My thoughts and prayers are with his family, friends, and everyone affected by this tragedy. Stewart is from and still often visits Central Indiana. Our TV6 reporter Tanya Spencer is just back from the driver's hometown of Columbus with reaction from there. Tanya?
Well, Drew, we talked to several people who were born and raised there in Columbus. They may all be from the same place, but reaction to the video of that deadly crash is mixed.
Basically, everybody knows him. Like, he's been here forever. Like, my mom went to school with him.
It's the city where NASCAR driver Tony Stewart was born and raised and where he currently maintains a home.
He's been good to the city, comes back here on a regular basis. So, yeah, very well thought of in Columbus.
So the video that shows Stewart running into a fellow sprint car driver, killing him, is the talk of the town here. Fans mixed about Stewart's intentions as he struck Kevin Ward Jr. after an altercation on the track just moments earlier.
I've never been a big fan of his. My first memory of him was getting in a fight out at the fairgrounds years ago when he raced Sprint Cup out there. So I always known him as a hothead. I think it would fall towards manslaughter type of activity, that he did something he shouldn't have that resulted in an extremely unfortunate incident.
It looked like an accident from the video, but I think the unfortunate choice by the other driver, it's a very dangerous environment.
I think it was an accident.
While some defend him, others are bothered by initial reports that Stewart would race Sunday despite the deadly crash, a decision that was later reversed.
I can't imagine why anyone would even think about or consider racing today, especially after finding out that the guy died. It seems a little crazy to me that, but part of me thinks that it's his PR people are telling him, hey, you're not going to race today. And he's seemed irrational already in the sense of wanting to. It seems that's strange.
The question now, how this weekend's actions will affect the Central Indiana native's future.
I think it will completely ruin a really great career.
Do you think this will hurt his reputation, Tony Stewart's reputation at all?
No, not in any way. Not in any way. He's an outstanding driver. It's an unfortunate accident.
Now, the crash raises questions about whether Stewart will continue with his hobby of racing on small tracks. He has long defended that hobby, but it could be putting his day job in jeopardy. He crashed on a similar track almost exactly 1 year ago. That was a crash that cost him the second half of the NASCAR season last year. Tanya Spencer, RTV6.
Thanks, Tanya. Interesting to hear those reactions. And those who knew 20-year-old sprint car driver Kevin Ward Jr. say his death is a huge loss to the entire racing community. Ward's family is a major sponsor of the Adirondack International Speedway, which canceled racing today in response to his death. A track announcer for the Speedway opened up about what his loss means to him and many others.
He was a young man, his 20s, his life was ahead of him. He was an outstanding driver, but more important, he was an outstanding person. When we decided to come back with Adirondack this year, Kevin and the whole family were over here to try to help us get things going.
The Adirondack International Speedway is the same track where Stewart was involved in an accident that seriously injured a 19-year-old last July. Stewart later took responsibility for his car making contact with another and triggering the 15-car wreck that left Alicia Ruggles with a compression fracture in her back.